Dearly redheaded, we are choosing consciousness today to get through this thing called grief. Interesting word, grief. It means love, which makes for a mighty good joke, but I'm here to tell you, there's nothing else. Just joy. And if the big picture tends to bring you down, go crazy once your life goes. Woo!
We can't be talking to Pamela Dussault-Runtagh without talking about estrangement. Pamela, we ended the last episode with my pie hole talking about the levels of estrangement and how deep people want to go, and then the opposing sides, children, parents, probably having their own desires. You probably have the mother that wants to bake cookies 4 times a year, and you have the kids that just can't deal with the emotional issues surrounding placating a relationship but not having the tools to know what to do. I mean, it is really complicated. It takes on a lot.
So I mean, the big issues that it's raising, awareness that it's raising, is around, in my opinion, I think you said obligation.
Yeah.
And so one of the reasons why I highlighted my Facebook group to be Generation X parents is because in general, I know I'm generalizing here, and I want to make that really clear.
Yeah, we do that a lot.
That our generation is more likely to have an open mind, but also that have already kind of been on the side of what obligation means in an unhealthy way. So we already have some...
Meaning we shouldered it with our parents.
Yes, but we were aware of this obligation versus how things could be. So there was like these beginning seeds of it.
Yep. Agreed.
Of, wait a minute, do we really have to just deal with this obligation, or could we try to look for a different meaning in our relationship with our parents or our family? So the baby boomer generation, and generation before us, is more likely to just be
bend over
of an accepting that this is just how it is.
Oh. Yep, bent over. They were bent
so
over.
Now comes along our children's generations, millennials, Gen Z, etc., who are now, the seed is a sprout. And they're really questioning, what does the family mean to me?
Yep. I opened the door to it.
Yep. And it wants to meet, they're looking, I feel, and again, this is in a nutshell, that they're looking for a more meaningful relationship versus the obligational one. They're also looking for more authenticity versus just kind of glossing over, and this is what the family, looks like, and we don't need to talk about all of that stuff, and let's just sweep it under the rug and come home for the holidays, and we're going to make this and that. And believe me, I'm speaking from experience. That was me.
Can I say something?
Very much me. Yeah, please go ahead.
And I'm going to try to make an analogy. I think from my conversations that when the child's taking the issue and wanting more from the parent, and the parent is of the mentality of, more obligation versus self-aware, that's one thing when it's going that way. When you're a parent that's becoming self-aware, coming from behind, recognizing what you've endured and tolerated, male or female, mother or father, and then you reach out the other way, I think you can scare the hell out of them.
Yes.
Good. I'm glad that
I agree.
Okay, good. Because
no, it can go both ways.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. And that's actually, again, coming back to my original words, where every situation is just so unique and different. It's so hard to say, this is the right thing to do, like what's being put out there in social media. And instead, you have to look at all the nuances and in the what is happening in this relationship, what is happening to one of the people, whether it's the parent or the child, and how is this now navigated? So, yeah, that's why I'm here, right? This is what I help people to do, and to really kind of get clear about their unique situation. And we know what the goal and the objective is for most people, which is to have a relationship with their child. But how that relationship is going to be different because the one or both people are becoming different, are becoming new, are growing.
Yep. It's got to be looked at like a new relationship, right?
It totally does. It totally does. A brand new relationship. And and so, just kind of getting to that place means often getting to a place within oneself where they are either unaware that they're growing or they're aware that they're growing, and how to use that for their, I'm going to say highest good, but advantage, I guess you could say even, and how to perceive themselves differently in it. And when they can do that, then they can perceive their child a little bit differently. Or in a case where if it's for the child, you're working with the child, the adult child, then, the same kind of holds true. It's just reverse. So, but
have you had any children reach out to you?
Oh no, I haven't. And it's funny that you should say that, because I'm starting to think that, maybe I need to kind of tap into that market a little bit, because I can help them too.
Well, again, you would attract the kid that wants it and, recognizes the work that's involved.
Right. But they, that's the part that has, that I haven't really been able to feel, is that, but do they want it? Does the child want it? Because you're hearing all of this stuff about the children, the adult children who are not wanting it, creating this issue for the parents, which is why I started, with the parents, because almost all of the parents want it.
Well, and the kid that can accept that their parents just want the obligation. Hey, I want to see you once a quarter and break bread. That's got to be hard for the generation that wants more. And there's that level of acceptance that takes work. I
Yeah.
I have to be careful. But, and I know my situation isn't, it's unique in ways, but it's not unique in ways. And the ways that it's not unique is parents, mother or father, owning up to their responsibility and also coming to terms with what they've endured, and wanting to be, protective of self from the perspective of not their kids, but others. And then having indoctrinated their kids to those that mistreated them, putting the kids in a horrific position. You with me?
Yep.
I mean, that's not that uncommon. I know women and men who have done it, and it just, that's the fallout of our generation standing up. And I know how hurtful that is, but I also know how necessary it is. And I think the caveat there is allowing them to have their own relationships and not taking that personally.
Right. Right. Or, over, worrying too much that they're going to be like damaged, quote unquote, by whatever that
Influence.
Yeah. Good word. We can't worry about that.
Nope. That's their soul's journey.
Because the other part is that as much as despite whatever might be going on in the dynamics, they see and are aware of what you are doing in terms of standing up. And I don't just mean you personally. I mean, I'm talking about me too. That we're doing something here, and they're observing it and they're learning from it.
They're learning either good or bad, though.
Well, that's true. It is for good or for bad. But that's a time
thing.
That's a time thing, because they then get to see
how it plays out,
what's happening. I think of my kids, and they saw, and they obviously they're very unhappy at first, and yet the more happier I became, the more relaxed they were, and the more probably note taking they did internally, and not so much about in my case their father, but as just some kind of life guidance.
How do you mean that? I mean, I know what the words mean.
So, that may apply to their work situation, their relationship with their boss, or it may apply to their own personal relationships as they get older, romantic relationships or friendships or whatever. That if they're, if you're unhappy, and I know I'm really making this simple by saying it this way, but it's way more complex in terms of, behaviors. If you're unhappy, and then you make this change and start becoming happier, then, maybe there's something in that. I'm going to pay attention. And then that might mean that someday I need to do that too.
Yeah.
And so as it applies to estrangement, they, most of them, and I know, again, it can go either way, but the adult child is already in a place of some unhappiness. And standing up may mean this change in their happiness. So, or it can go either way, or the parent has to do that. But we're talking about the relationship between the parent and the child. So they're saying this, and the adult child is saying this, and the parent is left with, wait a minute, how was I making you unhappy? And they're going through all kinds of questioning and confusion over what they did wrong. And the child, adult child just doesn't want to or take the time or feels that they should even owe an explanation to the parent as to what they did wrong or why. And so, so there's this thing that's left hanging for the parent. And what really comes down to is they have to look at everything differently as it relates to what their child is going through, what their life is like, what they want in their relationship with their child. That so much change kind of needs to happen, and they have no way of, navigating that, or even where do I even start? And so the first place to start is really they have to learn to, deal with their emotions. Like, how do they cope with them? Healthy ways around them, form different beliefs, form different thoughts, different perceptions, and different, even looking at different outcomes. Because if they're dependent on this relationship being fixed with their child as the outcome, as the ultimate goal, it's defeats the purpose. They have to find an outcome that they can be at peace with.
Wanting it, but not be in control of if it happens.
Right. No attachment to it.
Okay, can I weigh in?
Yeah, do. Please do.
So that covers, and this is how my mind works. I'm not asking you to be hook, line, and sinker with it. That covers normal dysfunction. That covers, in my mind, narcissism. And then there's those of us who have tangoed with antisocial personalities, sociopathy, psychopathy. We wake up, we get free of it, we recognize our role, we allow our kids to figure out their relationships for themselves. They are very dissociated. They have tremendous dissonance. Their memories are affected. So over and above making the choice of wanting some sort of relationship, there is some sort of way you have to put in perspective differing experiences with people. And those antisocial types are working overtime to influence our children.
Right.
In ways that I'm still in awe. I really am. And I don't mean that in a I mean it in a comedic way. It's just astonishing. It's just astonishing if you've tangoed in that swamp. So for those of us that have experienced deliberate alienation or influence or whatever that crosses the line between normal dysfunction, I just want those parents to know, or vice versa, if the children are dealing with it as a result of recognizing it in their parents, because that's it does go both ways. I just want to. I see you, I hear you, I feel you. It's the rules don't apply.
Yeah.
The function you're describing of two parties coming together and making a choice, it's just not what happens.
Right.
And that's my that's what I can talk about. And I just my heart bleeds. My heart bleeds for whatever that is.
Yeah, mine does too. And obviously it's why I do the work that I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there is something in me, and this is me. I'm not saying that this is the way to be for everybody, because it's not. I am an optimist, and I am a strong believer, and this is my belief, not saying that it is everybody's belief, that anybody should have it. But my belief, because based on my life experiences, that I'm kind of embarrassed to say it, but I do have this belief that everything works out, that it looks really crappy and shitty, and it's hard and it's painful, and I'm not denying any of that, but that there is something positive, not all of it, but something positive to come out of it that maybe we can't yet see. And I developed this because of my own personal crises throughout my life, my 60 years of life, that, that's really sucked. But there's something else here that's pretty cool that I like. I'm not saying I would go through it again. No, I don't want that. But I am saying that there's something, a hidden blessing, maybe, to be found.
You ready for me to comment?
Yeah, please do.
I mean, that's why I like you. And that's why I like you for what you're doing. However, I'm a realist. I have a feeling what my soul contracted for. I've turned it over to my son's souls to figure out whatever they contracted for. Mm-hmm. But I had to let that very thing that you just suggested, I had to let that go in order to feel good about what I'm doing and what may come out of it. And I think the woman I talked to, and again, we're not doing, she's the one who, after my incident, was able to tell me I had been dissociating since I was a toddler, and she was huge in helping me with understanding what was happening, or why what happened. And it took her talking to me, I don't know, at least a year for her to know what I meant. When people don't want you alive to speak, and once they realize you're not going to shut up, then they influence everybody they can against you, and you come out of that. And then your kids are up against that. It's just, I just had to let it go. They either will or they won't. And I, not saying that's for everybody, mm-hmm. but anything that smells slightly of hope addiction, I stay clear of, because toxic positivity and hope addiction were what kept me Stockholmy.
Yeah. So can I speak to that?
Yeah, of course.
So
not like anybody's listening.
That involves having hope about somebody else. In my opinion.
Meaning it's hope for them versus hope for me?
Yes. So what I was talking about is finding the hidden blessing in yourself, for yourself. It's not an external thing. It's an internal thing.
I think I have that for self. I think what you just said is very important, that it's more about what my wish for their soul's journey than my own.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change what I've been through, but there was a point, that, and I've brought it up before, but not in a long time. That biblical story about you take all your problems, everybody's in a circle, you put them in the center, and everybody takes their own problems back. Do you know that old story?
I don't, but please continue.
So the premise is, once you know what everybody else has been through, you'd be like, holy shit, I'll take my own problems.
Oh, I see. Yep.
And I crossed a line. I don't remember if it was being in the hospital or after I got out of the hospital, where I was like, yeah, I couldn't do this again. Give me another story. And I don't mean any disrespect to what anybody's been through, but for my own psyche and what I had gone through psychologically was just so fucking detrimental. And that's what keeps me grounded on the planet, is figuring out why I'm here this time around. Because there's just no way that, my heart breaks for my sons, but my own heart is right behind theirs.
Mm-hmm.
As I know it's tied to others. Me being healed enough to try and make other people want to be on the planet as a result of extreme psychological and covert abuse. I don't want to tango with the physical and the sexual, because that's not why I'm here.
Right.
And I know that.
Yeah.
So I hope I was clear, but I mean, I just, woo. I mean, I had a reaction, a CPTSD thought. I was going to a family member's house, and it wasn't until I rang the doorbell I was like, my thoughts went to, does this put me in a position for this person to think I should be in a hospital? And it wasn't until I rang the doorbell that hit me. And I was like, wow, holy shit, get over that in about 12 seconds and move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that you know, I really enjoy who I am. I just have not had, and I don't mean business, and I don't mean my clients. My God, my clients saved my life. They know they have. But just in the personal arena, close personal, family romantic.
Yep.
Woof. And yet that I still want that, which is ironic, I think. I look forward to the opportunity because I feel like I put so much love out there. It's got to resonate somewhere, Pamela.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead. Where do you want to go? We'll start the next episode with it. Talk to me.
I was going to talk about, how our beliefs just play such a huge role.
Well, let's go there then.
All right.
Thank you for listening and supporting Natural Born Redhead. If you follow the Bouncing Balls, please like and subscribe. If you know someone interested in sparing others grief and inciting joy, message me on Facebook or reach out via my website, Natural Born Redhead. J-Ma.